Hi, this is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Welcome to another edition of Fridays with Sandy. That would be Sandy Kreisberg,
Hi, everybody. Sandy here.
GPS guru in Boston. And we have a great candidate, a military candidate, David Zhang, who is 33. He enlisted into the U.S. Air Force at the age of 19. He currently works for Lockheed Martin as a senior software engineer. He has a 740 GMAT, a 3.9 GPA with a degree from the University of Maryland, earned online in computer science. So welcome, David.
Yeah, he's also in an MS program at Harvard, where he expects an MS in this May.
Yes, sir. Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Our pleasure.
You got a lot going on here, David. Why do you want an MBA in addition to your MS, your BS, your Air Force experience, and working at Lockheed?
So something I discovered when I was in the Air Force was I developed a love of actually leading people and mentoring people. When I crossed over, I knew I've always wanted to do something on the software engineering realm. I've always been somewhat aligned on the technical side. And I always felt the best managers are those that have some experience on those so they can bridge with the engineers.
Hey, let's ask the question again. This time, just make it real practical.
Yes,
what
sir.
I want to do after my MBA is this. So pretend this is a mock interview. They don't like this, highfalutin background about leadership in general. They just want you to answer the question.
Well,
hey there, David. You're an impressive guy with a long Air Force career, and now you're at Lockheed Martin. That all makes sense. Why do you want an MBA?
I want to become a project manager at a leading tech company.
Bingo.
Can't you do that? Yeah, good. That's a good answer. Can't you do that without an MBA?
I feel I need to accentuate.
I sure hope so. Otherwise, the software infrastructure of the United States is in real trouble.
Military side is different than civilian side. There's a lot of things I don't have to worry about when I led in the military. I didn't have to do a lot of budgeting, and I didn't have to do a lot of the money side issues. And that's a huge thing I want to learn from the MBA. I'm comfortable leading people, and I'm sure I can pick it up on the fly, but an MBA would really accelerate my development in that regard.
Yeah. So, John, put that into an answer before I do.
I would say, I got a taste of leading in the military, but as you know, that's a command and control kind of thing. And I know that in this world, command and control doesn't work today. And so one of the things that I want to do is to learn how to be a great collaborative team member and lead people in a more innovative, creative way, something like that.
Yeah. A good thing to mention is just general business skills. I want an MBA for a couple of reasons. Like the first year required program is something that I'm actually looking forward to because I'm interested in those courses. I
want to learn accounting and finance and marketing and strategy.
Right. Yeah, like I found those are useful tools. I've come across them, and I really want to get comfortable with those and then be a kind of technical leader. Who's a hero as a technical leader for you, David?
It's going to surprise you a little bit for somebody who doesn't own any Apple products, but I love Tim Cook. I love the fact that he's managed to take Apple, grow it into the world's most profitable company, but he does a lot of things on the sustainability side and a lot of things on the making the world a better place.
Yeah, good. Who? Tell me someone I don't know that you admire.
Someone that you wouldn't know.
In other words, someone you work with. Or...
Someone you wouldn't know would be my manager. My manager's actually been one of the people kind of showing me that we need more people like him. He's very technically proficient. He cares about people, and he also works a lot of long hours, but he takes care of all the necessities.
Does he have an MBA?
He does not have an MBA.
Okay. Yeah,
but I also see parts of that where that's kind of holding him back from moving forward with it.
Yeah.
Because there are things that I know that he is picking up on the fly.
I'm going to stop beating you up here. Just a suggestion. When you go to an interview or when you write your application, it really helps to have 3 or 4 role models, heroes. They could be famous people like Tim Cook, but even more impressive are people at Lockheed Martin with MBAs, or people at companies, or guys you know, with men or women you know with MBAs. And you could go, you know, I'm really impressed by Joe Smith, who's a blah blah here at Lockheed Martin, and he's done this and this. And you know what I think I need, what Joe can do that I can't do at the present time is this, and this. You look skeptical.
Or the best leader you ever served under in the Air Force.
That's
In
a different question.
Afghanistan, you were in
John,
Germany,
those are good
Iran,
leadership.
Japan.
John, those are good leadership in general questions.
Yeah.
The issue for you, David, is what, after you're 33, you plan on, you're getting an online degree. I assume you don't want an online MBA, right?
I do not. I want the benefits of being part of a cohort.
Right. So you're also going to get the benefits of not working for 2 years, foregoing what is probably near, you know, $500,000 of income, and paying tuition. So you're going to, why is an MBA worth $750,000? What's the answer to that?
Well, my dream is to become a COO, and it's going to be hard to pick up those skills on the fly. I look at a lot of the Fortune 500 people, and it's a pretty big commonality.
Yeah,
they went to MBAs.
that's a good answer. Okay. Yeah.
Among David's choices is an interesting curveball. So in addition to Stanford, Wharton, Booth, and Haas, he's also interested in the MIT Fellows Program, which tends to attract a slightly older crowd, is only a 1-year program. It's kind of like a mini MBA, and Stanford has an equivalent, incidentally, that's also relatively inexpensive compared to a 2-year MBA program or an executive MBA program. And frankly, the MIT or the Stanford program could be a really good bet for him.
Yeah. John, do you know the quintessential fellows candidate? Isn't it someone with
X years
actually
in the mid-30s to late 30s? And generally, you know, it's not like a lot of military people go into those programs, but I think that they would find David very attractive. And obviously the acceptance rates are much higher at Stanford and MIT for that program than they are for the traditional 2-year MBA.
Aren't fellows usually backed by their companies?
That's a good point. I think a lot of times that was true, less true today, because companies have become incredibly stingy about sponsorship.
I've actually gone and looked at the application process for the Sloan Fellows Program. There's a little checkbox that asks if you are sponsored by them or not.
Yes.
But they also offer 2 scholarships per year to those that are self-sponsored. But the financials, I'm not too worried about. More the skill set.
I mean, you're a great guy, but don't count on scholarship. You're gonna give those to women, or, you know, underrepresented people, or.
And that's Stanford is the MSX. You know, used to be. It's the same thing.
Yeah, everything become X these days.
I know they changed the title of the thing, but that's another really thing you should be putting on your list. If you're interested in the MIT Fellows Program, you should be putting Stanford MSX on there too.
Yes, sir. I found out it's a joint application. One essay is just 50 words longer, so I can kind of hit 2 birds with 1 stone in that.
Good.
So, Sandy, what are his chances at Stanford, which only accepts 6% of the applicants to the 2-year MBA program?
Is there an X factor? By that I mean, do you have some history of overcoming adversity or helping people overcome adversity, widely defined? That is the high road into Stanford. And beyond that, aside from that, is a 3.9 and a 740 and the Air Force and working at Lockheed good enough for what would probably be very, very few spots over there? I think your chances at Stanford are 30%.
That's high.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it's high, but it means you're probably not getting in too.
No.
That's fair. You know, I wouldn't bet my life savings on 30%.
Right.
Hey, let me ask a question. Are you first gen?
I am, yes, sir.
Okay, I thought you were. Okay.
Yes, sir. Actually, I came over with, my parents came over first and they brought me over when I was 3.
What did your parents do for a living?
My dad is a civil engineer for the city of Surprise, and my mother was a housewife, but currently works as a cashier at Walmart.
Okay.
Well, that's a good Stanford background.
That's a good, exactly.
Proletariat Stanford background. Stanford's like the Communist Party. They go for the very rich or the very poor there.
How about
Anyway,
Wharton and Booth?
small, okay, I think Stanford's
Wharton and
going to
Booth.
be hard. What you could help yourself at Stanford if you really came up with some compelling reason about why you want an MBA and what you're going to do. Being the leader of a tech company is, you need some other factor, and it's got to take off from actual reality in your history, things you've done. It's got to be the launching ground for career objectives that involve their touch points of helping people, expanding markets, overcoming adversity, the Stanford rap. So I would, when you come to write that essay about what matters most to you and why, I try and get those touch points. At Harvard, I think your chances are better simply because they are for everybody, and Harvard's not as obsessed with overcoming adversity, X factor, yada, yada, yada. Harvard might say, boy, this guy would be a good add-on to the class.
40% at Harvard, right?
Well, same 30%. 30.
But that's what you said for Stanford.
Yeah, well, I might 30% for Stanford, 30% for Harvard.
Okay. And then Wharton and Booth, he's got the 740 GMAT, the 3.9 GPA.
Yeah, those schools like those.
Go with a master's.
At those places, you're kind of, you should get interviewed, okay? And then it's just a matter of not getting screwed at the interview.
I remember you saying interviews are to kick candidates out, not to accept them.
Unfortunately,
well,
true.
It's true. But a guy like you could screw up the interview in 2 ways. You could have a bad day, or you could just be unprepared for questions that they're going to ask you. After they go, oh, you're great, we like you a lot, wow, I'm really impressed, blah, blah, blah. They start saying, well, why do you want an MBA? Can't you do that without an MBA? They'll do the same song and dance I did at the beginning of this, which is screwed up a little bit.
Got some prepping I got to do.
Well, better here than there, my friend.
Absolutely.
And then Berkeley Haas, their acceptance rate is low. It's California school, great MBA program, obviously, and will put you in a good place to be a project manager at an Amazon or a Google. What are results at Berkeley Haas?
It becomes a question of convincing them you want to go there, because they might look at this and say, why do you want to come here? So it would help to really visit and make a specific case why parts of their program align with your goals. Okay, so you're a good guy, David. You got a lot going for you. Get your story straight. You haven't got your elevator pitch down. You can do it. I mean, you're a smart guy, but that's what your takeaway from this little interaction.
So get the elevator pitch right. Sandy, thank you so much.
Yeah, David, thanks for letting us.
Let us know how you do, okay?
Yeah.
And we're rooting for you. All right,
Awesome.
and for everyone else out there, thank you for watching. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Sandy Kreisberg in Boston. Good luck on your MBA journey.
Thank you guys very much.
Okay.